Well, hey, this is the DIY Marketing School podcast. I am your host and your marketing coach, Melanie Diane Howe. Today's episode is all about social media profile pictures. All right, today we're going to talk about profile pictures. So excited about this because I am so passionate about profile pictures. I am. Am I starting to say I'm passionate about everything? I feel like I am, but it's because I just care about all these things. But profile pictures is definitely something that I see as a really important aspect to your online presence. Your profile picture is essentially the first impression that people have when they connect with you or when they're trying to connect with you or considering connecting with you. So mostly today I am referring to your personal profile picture, or if you are in business for yourself, you're a consultant, a coach, or just a solopreneur, or you own your business and you're the face of your business, we may be also talking about your business page profile as well. So anywhere that this podcast is for you using a picture of you for your profile photo. Now, I have a strong opinion that wherever possible, I think that your business page should be a person if it's possible. So some businesses don't necessarily have that luxury. You may have a team of people that are customer facing and they're the face of your business. Well, it doesn't really make sense for it to be one person. In that case, you may have a logo as your profile image and then a group photo as your cover image. But either way, you may also have just a different type of maybe a product-based business where your product is truly the showcase and you may be using a logo or a branded business, if you will. But for today's episode, we are talking about instances where a person is the profile picture. So again, your personal your personal pages for sure, 100%, but then any business page where you're able to use a person as that profile image. So if you go to my Facebook page, for example, at Melanie Diane, you will see that my face is my profile image because I am my brand. I mean, I am a personal brand in that aspect. So, but again, you may own a coaching company or a consulting company that's not named after you, but you are the product. In that case, it should be your face. It should be you. So even if the business is not named after you or your name, then I still want you to consider making that profile image your face. So what we're going to talk about today are ways that you can have a great profile image. And it's pretty much, it sounds like a basic topic, but it's really important. And there are a slew of things that I'm going to cover today to help you ensure that your profile image is strategic and it's of quality and is going to actually do good things for you versus possibly harm you if you're not following some of these rules, if you will. So I'm going to cover some basics around the profile images. I'll talk a little bit about the style, and then I'll even talk a little bit about the usage as well. So here we go. So first things first, the profile picture, it needs to be you. Okay, so let's let that soak in. It needs to be you. So if it's not of you right now, then just go ahead and let go of your pride or anything else because I'm going to give you a little tough love. I do not want your profile picture to be of you and your spouse or of your kids, your car, your storefront, your product, your pets. No, it needs to be you and it needs to just be you. Because you are truly the person I'm connecting with. And even though your kids are important to you and you're like, but Mel, they're like a huge piece of my life. Like they are me. Like I am my kids. Like that is such a big deal. I get it, but there are other ways that we can let that happen. But when I am meeting you in person, I'm not going to walk up to you and introduce myself and you're going to say, hey, here are my kids. And then introduce yourself. It's you that I'm connecting to. It's you that I'm doing business with. It's you that I'm learning from. It's you that just I'm wanting to make a connection with and follow and talk to. So it's really important that your profile image is truly just you. So I know that there are many reasons why sometimes people will make their profile image, their wedding photo, or, every week they change it to a different wedding photo because they just got married. I understand that. It's super exciting. It's a wonderfully exciting time, but I really, truly just want your profile image to just be of you. I mean, it really does need to be. So if you're one of those people that has one of these other images, then go ahead and just keep listening, because I'm going to help you make sure that you get a good, proper profile image. Because I really got to say, so many times I think that when we're not showing our face in our profile image, it's for a couple of things. We're showing something off, or we don't really like pictures of ourselves. And so we're hiding behind these other pictures, and we got to get over that. Okay. We got to get over that stuff. You are in this space, you're learning from me because you're trying to get yourself out there and utilize online marketing and social media to do that. And I'm going to help you. So regardless of the reasons why, let's just go ahead and say, okay, no more of that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make an effort to make my profile image just me. Okay. So what should that profile image look like? So, I also see a lot of people that will post profile pictures of, them running a race, or, on a motorcycle, or on a horse, or golfing, or just doing an activity. Anyway, the whole point is they're kind of far away. I really would like you to consider your profile image being much more close up. It really should be. I need to be able to see your face, and I need to be able to see it very clearly. And as you know, when we are looking at profile images, when they show up in our news feeds, they're not large until we click on that image. And so I want to be able to see your face when I see a comment from you. And so it really needs to be closer up. So typically it needs to be cropped in from about your chest or your shoulders up. So it's truly mostly your very upper body and your face. And that's really a good rule of thumb when it comes to how it should be cropped in. So also, let's talk about your face. I want you to make sure that your face is mostly centered, because a lot of the apps these days, depending on where you're showing up in the application, it will crop in your face or crop in your profile image into a circle or a different shape. And when that happens, then it's going to always use that center of the image where it's going to crop in. And so if your face is in the middle, then you can pretty much ensure that your face is always going to be visible, and it's not going to cut off half your face or something. So make sure that your face is mostly centered into the middle of that image. Okay, let's talk about posing now. So honestly, I really don't care how you pose. Do something that makes sense for you and your brand and who you are and your personality. So how you pose, really, I don't really care. I really don't have a lot of strong opinions about that. Again, as long as you're being authentic. But I do want you to avoid looking away, or laughing and looking down. I always have this funny thing. My photographer, she will do this thing and she'll say, okay, now look down at your shoulder and laugh. And it feels so awkward, and it does create cute photos, but not necessarily great photos for my profile picture. So those types of things look cute, but really, in order for me to connect with you, I want to look into your eyes. And so really the best kind of profile pictures are ones where you are actually looking into the camera, looking into the lens of the camera. So if you're taking a selfie, then make sure you're looking into the lens of the camera, not your face on the screen, because your eyes will actually be looking off to the side. But hopefully you are working with a photographer, either personal brand photographer or someone who can specialize in these headshots for you. And they may want you to take some really cool poses and do some neat things. Those can be great for social media content and whatnot. But for your profile picture, I really need it to be you looking into the camera lens. So make sure that, if your photographer is guiding you in other directions, just kind of say, hey, I really need some images of me looking into the camera too. Almost all skilled professional photographers are going to understand that. So, but I want you, when you're selecting your profile image, I want you to select the one where you're looking into the camera, because really when you're commenting or posting something and your followers are following you, they need to be able to look into your eyes. It's just going to create more trust. There's just something there. And so it just helps people connect with you as a human. And when we're in the online space, that can be difficult to do. And these are little ways that go a long way in that human connection. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about some style suggestions. So one thing I want you to do that typically works really well is if you go for some contrast. And what I mean by that is use an image where your face and your clothes have some contrast with the background. So, this is actually, if you're wearing white, then you probably want some bold colors in the background. Keep in mind, if your brand is kind of vibrant and colorful, then you wouldn't want to go with like a traditional gray background. You might want to go with an actual bright colored background. But if you're wearing, some colors, if you're wearing a red shirt, then you wouldn't want to pose in front of, a tree that's blooming in red, or, I'm thinking fall colors. It's fall right now, and a bunch of red leaves, because you're going to blend in. You want to create some contrast. So I don't want you to overthink this too much. Don't fret about your shirt color either. I really just want you to wear something that you love and that you feel radiant in. And if you're working with a photographer, especially in a studio, they will take care of you. They will be just fine. They'll probably have some different background options that they can use, and they are going to know that they want to create that contrast. But just be paying attention. Okay. So if you're noticing that, if you're wearing a black shirt and they're pulling out the gray backdrop, then you probably want to speak up and just let them know, hey, I'm really wanting to go for some vibrancy here. I need a little more contrast. So just kind of think about that. Now, when it does come to the color, I know I said don't fret about your shirt color. Wear something that you love and you feel radiant in. That is truly the most important thing, because I want you to be comfortable and confident when you're taking these pictures. And you need to like what you're wearing, because you're going to be seeing this picture a lot. So, but if you want some bonus points, or you want to be really, really, really kind of laser focused and strategic, then you might want to consider finding a color that complements your brand colors as well, especially if you are using these images for your personal brand pages, because that's just going to add some extra bonus credit for how you brand yourself. So there you go. That's kind of about the contrast in the shirt colors. Now, another way you can get some contrast that I should probably talk about, and some simplicity, because a simple background is truly best, because we don't want to be distracting people with what's in the background. We want them to be really focused on you. And again, we truly want them to just be focusing on you and looking in your eyes, and hopefully seeing that beautiful smile. Okay. But another way that you can create some of that contrast is by creating a blurred effect. And this can be done with retouching. You can blur out your background with just some Photoshop work. You can also, if you're working with a photographer, they're going to have the right kind of camera and the right kind of lens. It's actually going to blur out that background automatically, and they're going to know what they're doing. And then, but if you're taking pictures of yourself for yourself, or having somebody help you, and if you have, a newer smartphone, then it's probably got a portrait mode on the camera, and go ahead and give that a try. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that sometimes the portrait mode on the cameras, on the smartphones, can blur out things like your ears or your earrings by accident, or depending on how your hairstyle is, it can actually blur out the tips of your hair, because it is using, some technology to try to create that blur effect. So you can give it a try, but if you're doing it, then go ahead and actually take some without the portrait mode turned on, just in case it actually screws it up. So, but honestly, in the best case scenario here, you're working with a photographer and they're actually going to take care of this for you. But I love a good blurred background. It really does create simplicity for your background, even if it's a busy kind of background in the picture. So what I don't want you to do in these cases is I do not want you to use filters or over polish your photo. So absolutely no beauty filters or beauty apps. And you know what I'm talking about. You've probably seen them. None of those. Do not use those, because they simply just make you look fake and inauthentic. 95% of the time we can tell that it's, just some beauty app or beauty filter that's been applied, and it just doesn't look real. It kind of looks cartoonish, and it creates a very subconscious feeling of mistrust and inauthenticity. So just avoid using those altogether. Just don't go there. Also, don't over Photoshop yourself, or if you're working with a photographer, sometimes they will get a little crazy on polishing your wrinkles or removing moles. Removing blemishes is fine. That's okay. But you need to look the way you look. Like, you need to be yourself, and you need to look yourself. Wrinkles and extra pounds or just weird moles all needs to be included, because that is who you are. even if you don't love those elements or features about yourself, do not ever Photoshop those things out, because they are you, and you are uniquely you, and you are gorgeous in your own way. And the major reason why this is important is because if you are truly trying to use social media and you're truly trying to put yourself out there, which I know you are because you're a focused DIY marketer, then this means you're also going to be doing video and live video. Now, maybe you're not doing video or live video yet, but you're going to, my friend, because it is powerful and it's a great way to connect with people. So knowing that you're going to be going on video, right? Your profile image needs to match how you are going to show up on video. And so you don't want to have this extra skinnied, polished, Photoshopped profile picture. And then when you show up live, people are going to kind of be like, that's not really what I thought they'd look like. So, you want to be authentic, and you can't Photoshop too much in these cases. Again, a little retouching here and there is not harmful. A lot of people do it. Just don't do it in a way where you don't even look like yourself anymore. Because again, when you show up on video, there's not a lot you can do there, sister. So you need to be the real deal. And we don't want to create a major, element of contrast there. Going to add a little thing here for you. Don't forget to smile. And sometimes when you are nervous, or especially if you're in a photo shoot, you're probably going to feel like you're smiling really big. But if you are nervous or feeling tense, it's going to take you some time. It's going to take some time for you to warm up that smile. So actually, if you are going into a photo shoot, then I want you to actually be warming up your cheeks and your smile on the way there. So I want you to be smiling and laughing and stretching your mouth and your cheeks. I know it sounds a little weird, and you're going to feel incredibly weird in the car, like doing these big smiles and crazy things before you go. But you really do need to warm up your face and stretch it out, because I know it sounds weird, but I promise you, the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of your photo shoot, your photos are going to feel, you're probably going to come off as stiff if you don't go into it kind of warmed up and loosened up. So I always like to do this before I do videos as well. I kind of like loosen up a little bit. I might get out of my chair, do a little dance, get a little warmed up, get the blood flowing, let the energy flow, and I'm just ready to show up on video. But the same thing goes for a photo shoot. And it just sometimes is going to take you a little bit of time to get into your element, and that's completely normal. I want you to know that. But this is mostly a tip for if you're doing a self photo shoot. So like, again, if you're maybe using your iPhone and you're setting the timer and you're just trying to create your own images, then I want you to make sure that you smile, and you need to smile big. So smile bigger than you even think you should be, because most likely you're not smiling as big as you think. And that smile is truly a great way for us to connect with you. So give big. Okay, let's move on to a few usage tips. So when you have this profile picture, then I want you to actually consider using the same image across multiple social media platforms. So, you may have a Facebook page, you may have an Instagram account and a LinkedIn account. I would love to see you using the same image or similar images from the same photo shoot. So you may have a couple of different angles with the same background. You can actually do that. That's completely fine. I just want it to have some continuity so that because people are going to connect with you on probably more than one platform in many cases, and we want them to be able to know it's you. And we want them to, or you may show up in their newsfeed, and when they see that image, they already follow you on another account. They're like, oh, there she is right here too. I'm going to follow her over here. So having that consistency and that continuity creates a nice level of consistency for people, and our brains need that recognition. So talking about recognition goes into my next usage tip, and that is I want you to actually keep the same profile picture for a few months at a minimum. So a lot of times I get asked, how often should I change my profile picture? And the answer I always say is, well, just not too often. And what I mean is, like, I see it often where people will, they've got a lot of fun, exciting things going on in their life, and they are always changing their profile picture to kind of showcase the things they're doing in their life. Again, a lot of times these are those profile picture usages where we're kind of showing off. Maybe I just ran a marathon, so now my profile picture is me running the marathon. And then, this week I was on stage. Now it's me on stage. And then, this month I got married, so now it's me in my wedding dress. We're always changing and flip-flopping that photo. Well, that's fine. It's exciting. I know it's fun to show those things and we want to see those things from you, but we need to see them in a different way. And your cover photo is one way you can do that. But really, your profile picture needs to remain consistent. And that's because we as humans, the way our brains work, we need recognition and we need that visual recognition. And so if your profile picture stays the same, then I become accustomed to it. I can almost like become acquainted with it. And so when it shows up in my feed, then I'm going to immediately be attached to it. Like, oh, I know that person. Oh, I recognize that person. It's just like when you see a really popular brand that you like and trust and you consume all the time, like maybe Starbucks or even the Apple brand, you see it and you immediately pay attention. And that's because we have brand recognition. And you as a human, we need brand recognition with you as well. And your profile photo is basically your logo. And so it's where you show up everywhere. So if you're always changing your logo, you're actually hurting that continuity and that visual recognition that's happening for your followers. And so while I think that, you can hang on to a profile picture for a long time, you absolutely can make the mistake of changing it too often. So, how long or how often is too often? I'm going to say, go ahead. And I want you to strive to hang on to that profile picture for a few months at a time. And honestly, I don't think it really makes a ton of sense for you to change it very often at all. I mean, I'm talking like 6 months to a year, you need to keep that profile picture. And unless if you're a hairstylist or you're in like fashion or something where you kind of need to be switching things up a little bit because that is actually what you do in your brand, that might be an exception. But again, even in that case, I would like you to hang on to it as long as you can to create that recognition for your followers. So, but on the flip side, I do think it is possible as well to keep a profile picture for too long. One, if your look changes, then you should consider a profile change. So for example, if you chop all your hair off, then you probably need to update your profile picture. Or if you color your hair a very different color and you're going to keep it for a while, then you're going to need to update that profile picture. So if you're brunette and all of a sudden you're showing up on video all the time and you've got like this real fancy pink and white hair, well, you probably need to update your profile picture, especially if you're going to hang on to that look for a while. Because again, we want that continuity. We don't want to shock people. We want them to know like, oh, that's who they are. They're fresh and they're here and everything's relevant. So if your look changes, you probably need to change your profile picture. But also just change it up because, we want people to trust that you are keeping it fresh. And so I'd say 2 years is probably a good shelf life for any profile image that's kind of hanging around for a while. So about every 2 years, you probably need to freshen that bad boy up and just, switch it up to a new fresh picture. You should be striving for updated images as often as once a month, maybe even having like a little personal brand photo shoot, or once a quarter or once every 6 months, so that you can be using these pictures in your business. At a minimum, you need to be doing a photo shoot every single year. You need to have a new headshots, new pictures every year, so that you can stay relevant and be fresh and look fresh and show people that this is you now, right? Instead of just always using old pictures. I can tell you right now, I'm actually due for a photo shoot and I'm going to be doing one soon. And I have, I'm kind of fortunate where my look hasn't changed. Like I still have the same hairstyle and pictures that were taken of me last year or even the year before, I pretty much look exactly the same. And so I'm able to get some shelf life out of my old photo shoot photos, but even me, I'm ready for a refresh look and a new look. And so I'm going to be getting ready to go through that stuff, which is one of the reasons I wanted to put this podcast together, because it's kind of been something fresh on my mind. And so I really thought, gosh, I know that this is something I see all the time. And I know that people struggle with what to do here with their profile images. But I also know that I don't know that everybody is actually thinking about all these things. And so I wanted to make sure that when you're thinking about you and being your best online, that you're actually thinking about some things that matter. And so if you've been somebody who, has been changing your picture all the time, or your profile picture is not of you, it's of you and your kids, or you and your pets, or not even of you at all, it's just your pet, then, don't worry. I'm not coming down on you. I'm just simply raising awareness that there are some changes that I want you to consider making, because they really do go a long way. So I'm going to recap these tips that I went over with you really quick, and then we'll be done and you'll be ready to go have a really badass profile picture that can do great things for you, right? So as I mentioned, the first thing I covered was the picture needs to be of you. So I want it to be of you and only you. And then also we want that picture to be close up so that we can see your face. So it needs to be something around the chest or the shoulders up. I want your face mostly centered so that when it's cropped in or, that circle crop happens, that your face is still in the image. And then I want you to not worry about how you're posing. I just want you to be looking into the camera. So I want you to pick a profile image that is you looking into the camera so that we can be looking into your eyes. And then I want you to go for some contrast so that you're not blurring or blending in with your background. Don't go too crazy about your shirt color. Just wear something that you love. And then also you could blur out your background. If it's kind of busy, it actually creates a pretty nice high-end look. And your photographer is going to take care of that for you. But if you're doing it yourself, you can, of course, blur out your background with some retouching or by using portrait mode on your camera. And then I don't want you to use any filters or over retouching or photoshopping yourself. We want you to look your moles included, your wrinkles and lines, all of it included because you are beautifully you and we want that to come across. We don't want you to accidentally come off as inauthentic because you're airbrushing yourself. Also, don't forget to smile and smile even bigger than you think you should because it will come across much better. And then also, I want you to consider using the same profile picture across all your different social media platforms. That creates a lot of good congruency and connectivity through each platform so that when I see you on another platform, I know it's you. And then also, don't change your profile picture too often. So I want you to strive to keep that profile picture for a minimum of about 3 months, if not longer. And how long is too long? 2 years. Let's go ahead and just say that 2 years is a good maximum shelf life for your profile picture. And if you've hit that 2-year mark, it's time to change it up and get a new one up there so that we can make sure that we all trust and believe that you are staying fresh and relevant to us. And we want to do that. So that's what I have for you guys. Profile pictures, they are really, truly important. It is the first impression, but it is also the lasting impression because you're going to be showing up online. Now this is for your followers who are following you, but also your peers and the people in your groups who either you're helping in your own groups or groups that you're involved in where maybe some of your ideal customers are hanging out or even just your peers. And so, your profile picture is going to show up anytime you show up. And so we want to make sure that it matches you. It is of you, that we can look into your eyes and we can feel a connection with you. And so go ahead and make a good effort in that profile picture. Either hire a photographer to do a little personal photo shoot, either just some headshots, or go ahead and go all in and do a personal brand photo shoot. I like to call them senior photo shoots for businesses. That's what I always tell my photographer. We joke about it. But I also want you to, if you are intimidated or not ready to invest in a photographer, then get your camera out and take some yourself. Set that timer to 3 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever you need, and just get some pictures. If you don't have any great pictures that you love right now, then get your camera out and take some. So I need you to schedule time to make this happen. And I want you to commit that profile picture is going to be of you and you're going to be looking into my eyes because that's what I want. I want to see you. So that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope this was helpful. If it was, and if you are liking this podcast, I would love to hear from you in the reviews. I love reading your reviews, and I'm soon going to be doing some listener shout outs. So those of you that have already left me a raving review, thank you so much. I am so grateful for you. But if you're enjoying this podcast, then please leave me a review. I'd love to hear from you. And also come check out my Facebook group. It's where you guys can all come hang out. It's free. It's a community for DIYers because we all are facing all the same fun challenges and we're learning all the new fun things. And it's called DIY Marketing with Melanie. You can just do a little search inside Facebook and it will definitely show up. I will also put a link to it in the show notes. But if you do pop in over there, get in there, request access, and introduce yourself. I want to hear from you. So I hope to see you guys in there. And until the next time, I will talk to you soon. So go be awesome.